Looking for a place that does it all? Maldini's by the River serves mouth-watering breakfasts, pasta, pizzas and more, plus amazing coffee and cocktails. They hit the spot every single time. You're planning a special event? Well, their private function room and versatile restaurant are the perfect place for any celebration. Good food, good friends, good times, Maldini's. Welcome back to Life in 5, the show where we dive into 5 moments that shape some of the most interesting people in sport, media, entertainment, podcasts, you name it. I'm MG and today's guest has built one of the funniest and most followed brands in rugby league. He's the man behind the NRL Roast, turning memes, banter and the love of footy into a social media empire. From an idea in his lounge room to becoming one of the game's must-follow voices online, this is his story. It brings me great pleasure to introduce the roastie himself, Dean Messiter.
Messiter, yeah.
Messiter. So a lot of people mess it up.
Yeah, mess it up. Yeah. My old man was a builder, and he used to have on the back of his truck was "Don't mess about, call Messiters." So everyone messes it up. So it's all right.
I am so intrigued. Before we get into your 5 photos that have defined your life, Dino, I'm so intrigued by the life of the NRL influencer, NRL podcaster, the NRL Roast. How did this start?
So the roast, like we were fans of like the Comedy Central roasts and all those roasty pages.
So I did a TV show back at Channel 9 called The Sunday Roast.
Sunday Roast, yeah. Exactly, yeah. That was also an influence. Obviously, you know, that's part and parcel with the name. But, there was a page I used to follow in MMA called MMA Roasted and just used to take the mickey out of MMA or UFC fighters. Yeah. And we just picked up on that and we're like, there's no NRL Roasted. So we started that and just started messing around with a couple of mates and started just developing some different memes and funny things. And it took off. And, just started the NRL Roast and went from there.
So a boy from Central West. Obviously, when I played, there was no memes, there was no podcasts, there was no social media.
Yep.
It can be good and bad, can't it?
Oh, 100%. Like, people can use it to, like, you say the word influencer, and it's actually feels like a bad word, but you know you can influence people in a good way.
Yeah.
And that's the aim of the page. And obviously, you know, sometimes I get it wrong. You know, there's things out there that I put out there that people don't get my humour, or I, you know, word it wrong and people take it the wrong way. But my whole intention is just to have a bit of a laugh, show that there's funny things in football, and take the mickey, have a bit of banter, stuff that you'd say at the pub.
Of course.
Yeah.
Life's too short.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we've got to fucking get over the woke shit. Yep. Let's go. Your first photo is obviously you as a young guy. Is this your first rugby league tenure? Is this the first time you played footy? Or
pretty much the first time I picked up a football to play organised
wow.
footy. We play in the backyard and muck around at school with some mates, but these are all my school friends. This was like an organised footy tournament in my hometown of Parkes. Well, I was actually playing for Forbes North. So Forbes and Parkes is a massive rivalry in rugby league in Central West, but this is Forbes North Primary School playing over in Parkes, just with all the mates I went to school with. And still keep in touch with a lot of them to this day, which is good. But I don't know if you noticed up in the back right corner is Scotty Goulet. Yeah, so it was a Scott Goulet.
He's featured a bit on this podcast. We had Dean Ritchie.
Oh, really?
Yep. Richie, who went away on a tour with Scott Goulet on a rugby tour.
Yep.
And now Scotty Goulet is in your photo.
So he was a massive influence in I always say he's what got me into rugby league. Because I remember sitting with Dad. I'm a Dragons fan, unfortunately. Dad got me into the Dragons and sitting there watching like the 92, 93 grand finals and 96, and Scotty Goulet featured heavily in those, and with the Dragons in the early 90s, and then watching him come to our school. He was a giant. Like, he was massive. Like, you're tall. And
he's 6'6".
Yeah.
Big
and
man.
So as a small kid, you're looking at this guy going, wow. And then you see him on TV and he's just dominating like all these other guys. You're like, this guy's a giant and I want to be that.
Isn't it amazing how something like so profound as that, someone coming to your school, because it happened to me back in 1979, I was in year 6, and Graham Eady and Simon Booth from Manly came to my school to present awards. As soon as they come to school, I went for Manly.
Yep.
I went, well, if they've got the time to come to my school, hey, they've got my fellowship.
And that's why I always, you know, the massive influence out in the country is, you know, get these guys to come out. All I have to do is come in and kick a footy around for half an hour, and these kids will, you know, look up to them and want to follow in their footsteps.
So was that after your first little foray into rugby league? Was this kind of did you ever have in your mind to be a professional footy player one day?
Not. I suppose not. I just wanted to play. I just wanted to be out there every weekend. It was never. I want to aim to get in the play in the NRL because I looked at them and I was scared of these guys. They're massive, and I'm like, am I ever going to be this big to be able to take on these guys? So I'm probably never at that age thinking about a professional career. Especially I actually had a negative incident not long after this where I wanted to play for the team for the town side, and my coach, one of the coaches there, or one of the dads, I don't exactly remember, sort of said, I don't think it's for you.
Wow.
And I was like, and then only a couple of years later, Mum moved to Parks, and that's where I started playing for the town. So,
okay.
And it was like a driven thing where I hated Forbes, even though I was born there. Yeah, just hated Forbes. So
what's the status of footy in the bush now, especially Forbes and Parks? But
I always say there's the biggest rivals in rugby league, New South Wales and Queensland, Parks and Forbes, and that's biased because I live there. Yeah. But mate, June long weekend we have a massive game. It's the only game of the round in the group, and we just get a massive crowd. It's hatred.
Wow.
You don't go to they come to our game. They don't purchase food at our canteen. They bring their own beers. It's just good rivalry though. Like at the end of the day, it's
you need that.
Yeah, you do. At the end of the day, we get along, but it's like that whole week leading up to it is we don't go over there. They don't come over here.
Wow.
Back in the day, like my old man used to tell me, back in like the 60s and 70s, they used to meet at the halfway point between the town, just punch on. Like it was just they just drive over there. That
Bring
was
it back, baby.
Yeah, I know.
Just you'd love to be transported for just a day, just to see what it was like.
Just one night. Yeah,
it's crazy, man.
Yep.
I just kind of, I'm born in the late 60s, but them 70s were just another level.
Yeah.
See some of the spear tackles.
Yeah.
That people got away with.
Oh. Mate, if that happened in this day and age,
you get 8 years.
Yeah. You never play again.
You get in fucking jail. Yeah. Okay, this jersey I kind of recognise, but it wouldn't be the same. We've got a jersey in Penrith, Junior Rugby League, Umi Plains.
Yep.
Who have the exact same jerseys. What's this jersey for photo number 2? And why is this part of the Dino's photo gallery?
So this is my first year of organised footy. This is under 12s, and we won the premiership that year. That's the shield in the middle.
For Parks?
For Parks, yeah. So we played the game. The photo was actually the week after. And after the game, I got a flu. And
are you the inset?
That's me in the insert there.
Oh, no, not the inset.
So, a classic one. You can see all the shaved heads. We shaved the numbers shaved the numbers in the back of the head and all that sort of stuff. But, so the week after the game, I got a bad flu and I was hallucinating. And I was telling Mum, we've got the team photo, And she's like, don't worry, you're just hallucinating. I'm like, no. And she rang and they're like, yeah, it's happening right now. So we drove. By the time we got there, they'd finished. And so that's why I've got the insert. But, just all these boys here, like we, a few of them I've coached under 18s with them. We've given back to the town. And I still keep in contact with a lot of these boys. They're some of my closest mates. And the first year I've played footy, we won the grand final, celebrated with a few Coca-Colas.
Yep.
And, it was just great times. I don't know if in the top left there is Jock Colley, who was a massive influence in country rugby league. He, he passed away about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And not long after, like, the City Country died off, and he was a massive...
City Country, that was epic.
Backer of City Country. So,
any of your ex-teammates going to do big things?
No, not in that one. I've played with a few that I played against Josh Miller, who went on to play with the Dragons.
And Raiders?
In the Raiders and Dragons.
I think he blew the horn recently at Canberra.
Did he? Yeah. He's back there as a coach, I think.
Okay.
Doing great things down there. I had a funny story. I stepped up when I played 16s. I was stepping up into the 18s. And just for
scary.
a couple of it's always scary, but it was a couple of trial matches, and we played against Forbes and then Red Bend, which is a Catholic college in Forbes. And Josh Miller had just signed with the Raiders, so he was the big name, and he'd just come back to play the trials, and it was like, okay, got to get out there and try and take him on.
Oh,
and
really?
I came off. Well, you just like you want to make a name, right?
Yeah.
And I was scared shitless, but you want to get out there and try and do something. And the first game against Forbes. Come off the bench, run straight at Josh Miller, bang, wake up on the sideline. Have a couple of weeks off and come back and play against Red Bend. He's playing for Red Bend as well. So I'm like, I've got to get him back. And I'm just running at him. And he's just getting up laughing every time. And then I run one more time and then wake up on the sideline again. And I never played 18s again that year until the following year when I turned 17. So
at least you had a dig.
I had a dig, yeah. So, and that's what life is. You've got to have a dig, right?
So how long after, like, throughout your school, were you a good student? Like, were you conscientious? Were you
There was a couple of topics I excelled at.
PE and English?
No, not PE. I was never really fit. Like, you look at me now, I'm a big fella, but I was love footy, and like, you always had to be big to play in the front row. So I was never fit, but I was good at maths for some reason. I think Dad being a builder, he loved maths, and he pushed me into it.
Now.
Yes, algorithms. That's all it is, and there's a lot to do with social media. So, but yeah, like that, and I was never really. I think the report cards would always say, you know, losers focus and things like that. Could do better.
Yeah.
So I was never a top student, but I remember when I moved to Parks from Forbes, they lost my transcripts. So they started me in, I was always, like I said, good at maths. They started me in the bottom class, and you do tests a day after
you
day.
kicked your ass.
And I think I went upper class every day until I got to the second top. So, but yeah, school-wise, it was just, you know, mucking around with mates. That's all I focused on.
Okay, this is let's look at an emotional one. This one, because it's a photo. I take it, is this you and your dad?
It is, yeah. Obviously, you know how much parents have a role in your life.
Profound, yes.
In the previous one, like I said, like my parents split up when I was young, and Mum was always the one sort of pushing me into footy. She actually hated me starting to play footy. She never wanted me to play, and my next door neighbour actually took me up there to sign me up for footy because she was like, you know, I know you love footy, so you got to go play. And then Mum found out about it, and then she was just in love with it after that. But she pushed me. But Dad, I unfortunately lost Dad a couple of years ago. He was always very critical and in a good way of my life, and especially around footy. Mum was always like encouraging, and Dad was like, you know, you're doing these things wrong. You got to fix this, all that sort of stuff. But that's what shapes you. And like I said, it was in a good way. I took the criticism in a really positive manner. And that's what's shaped my life. So
You got siblings?
Yeah, I've got an older brother, and then Dad remarried, and they had the lady he remarried who passed away about 15 years ago. She had daughters and a son. So we had a real mixed family, and I've got a younger brother who Mum had
the Brady
another.
bunch going on.
Yeah, pretty much. There was about 7 or 8 of us, so all around at different times, and But Dad, you know, was a massive influence. And even though my parents split up, they always got along.
That's good.
Went to the 99 grand final with my mum and dad and my brother.
I was there as well.
Yeah, and unfortunately, not a great result for us.
Well, it looked like it was going to be. The Dragons looked like they had it. Yeah.
But, you know, they always got along, and they always knew the importance of being together for the kids.
Yeah.
So even though they never got along at a young age, they knew it was important for us. So, yeah, Dad was massive in my life.
And how old was he when he passed?
65.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Was it suddenly, or was it suddenly, or was it a long illness?
No, he had heart issues, and then that developed into some cancer and stuff. So, luckily it sort of he went pretty quick, and he was sort of happy to go. Yeah. But just it's tough losing a parent. But you know, I look at that and I look at me, and I'm like pretty much very similar. Like, there's photos of us that we look exactly the same.
Yeah,
so,
I know you do. Obviously, what are you, a month old in the top photo there?
Yeah,
a couple of months old.
Yeah, I reckon that's very early days. But and then I look at that photo and look at me now, and pretty much the same.
What would the old man be saying now about you?
I mean, he'd be going, "How's that computer stuff going for you?" He never really understood it because he was never big on social. I think he only joined Facebook about a year before he died. So he was never big on it, but he just thought, I'm doing some computer stuff. So. He loved his computers, like playing games and things like that. But he didn't really understand exactly what I was doing. He just thought I was messing around with computers. But he still encouraged me. He would be. He was never big on you need to follow me and do stuff. Parents like
what did he do was
he was a builder.
A builder, yeah.
Yeah, so family business. Like his pop was a builder.
Oh, that's right.
His dad was a builder.
Don't mess it up.
Yeah. But he was never big. You have to do this. He might have been on my older brother, who he tried to sort of follow in his footsteps.
Yep.
But I was never interested in building and stuff.
Was your dad born and bred in Parks or
in Forbes?
Forbes.
Yep. Yeah, lived around the area, Central West in Cowra. Spent a fair bit of time there in his later years.
Wow.
But, Dad Pop was from Wollongong.
Yep.
That's funny. I got married in Wollongong, and then Dad, on the day that bottom photo is the day of my wedding. He went and actually showed me where his dad was born in a house around the corner from where we got married.
Holy shit.
We didn't even know that before we did it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, next photo, brother, brings us to a bit of what we've got you in for today. It all starts with somebody, and obviously the NRL Roast has to get guests.
Yep.
I take it the big boy was one of your first, Big Blocker Roach?
No, he wasn't. This is only last year.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty recent photo.
Yeah, but it's sort of a culmination of like what I started for and what I've kind of, because like I've actually interviewed you before. I don't know if you remember, but
I do.
I was starting out like doing it over Zoom and different things, and this is a bit of a culmination of like actually executing an idea and getting someone as big as Blocker involved in it. What it was the Spoon Bowl.
Yep.
So West Tigers Eels last year. And we got him to do like a Gus final word for a Spoon Bowl.
Yep, remember it well.
Yeah. And, I wrote it up, had the idea, sent it to him. Yep, let's do it. And we got a business involved with it. And, got him to do the final word. And that's me just holding a little card. I'm massive on footy cards. He signed me footy card. And just the experience of working with people like that.
Yeah.
In and around rugby league.
Some good people in the game in there.
Oh, 100%. And just you have this idea and it's in your head. You go, this is funny, but then showing it to someone else, they go, yeah, I like that. Let's do it. You execute it. It goes well on socials. It's just a really good feeling. And to start a page, just in your backyard in parks, and then to get to this where we're actually at Campbelltown Stadium, out the front before the game. And getting him to do that is pretty special.
So you mentioned about your dad saying, how's that computer stuff going?
Yeah.
When did you realise that you had something special with the NRL Roast? And when did you think that you could make it your hobby or your job? And how many hours a week do you put into it?
Oh, mate, don't ask my missus. She'll
really?
Yeah, it's a lot of work, yeah. I remember the very first post I ever made in regards to rugby league, because I was doing some MMA stuff before that, was one I just posted through a Facebook group, but it was in a game between the Dragons and the Bulldogs, and one of our players, Joel Thompson, I think, tripped Josh Reynolds. And it was a massive talking point. Someone got sent in or sent off. And so I did the Karate Kid meme where he sweep the leg and put Des Hasler's face on Mr. Miyagi, and did all the face swapping and stuff, and did the video. And I posted in this Facebook group, and Bo Ryan actually showed it on the Footy Show.
Oh, wow.
And that was like my very first post. So I was like, okay, maybe I've got a bit of a knack for this. So that's really when I started.
That was your first post?
That was my very first post ever around rugby league. And posted in a Facebook group that was big on sharing memes and stuff like that. And then it got shared to a page. That's where Bo Ryan saw it, and that's where he shared it from.
So 10 years ago we talking, or?
2016.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, nearly 10 years, yeah. And then the roast was started in 2017. So I was just sharing in groups, and I'm like, well, they're using my stuff. I might as well start my own page. So did that. And then it was I was still working at a bank then. So I had 10 years in finance before that. So I was still on my lunch break. I was looking at the news stories, making some stuff. I'd go home and spend 4 or 5 hours just making some stuff.
Wow.
So that was
4 or
pretty
5
heavy.
hours?
Yeah, well, it's just like, when you start making it, you start getting a bit of traction. You're like, you got to keep this traction going.
Yeah.
If you stop, then someone else will come in and start taking over. So those first few years were pretty tough, like plenty of hours. Now I've started to manage it well, where it's like, you know what, I jump in at 9 o'clock, finish at 4 or whatever. I can still mess around with the kids if it's school holidays or they've got stuff. So it's about managing it. And there's still, games from Thursday through to Sunday.
Just you?
Yeah, just me.
Just you?
Yep.
Wow.
The good thing, like, you've got to have
total autonomy about it as well.
Sorry?
Total autonomy. You've got, you don't have to worry about someone else.
Answer to anyone. So, but you've got to have an understanding wife and kids. But, and that helps. But, look, I'll get back to where I was doing the just sharing in groups and stuff.
Yeah.
In 2017, started my own page, and then about 2 years later, I actually got made redundant at the bank, and it was a kick in the ass I needed. That I was like, you know what, I can probably make a bit of a job out of this, turn this hobby into an actual living. And the very next day after I got made redundant, I got a call from someone from a business who wanted me to do some content for them in the same realm of what the roast was doing. And so I've been with them for about 6 years, and just doing content for them, doing content for myself at the same time, and now it's a career.
So without getting into specifics, how lucrative is it?
Oh, it's like a decent job. Like you're earning above average wages if you're smart. In saying that, that's me doing content for other people as well.
Yep.
So if you work with the right people and different things, so like the blocker one was I'm working with a business there, so I'm getting paid.
So you have to pay blocker, you have to pay.
No, they do all that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so I sell the idea to them.
Okay.
And then I get paid for that work. And blocker gets paid from them, so they have a budget for things as well. So,
I'm more new to it. Like I'm so fascinated by it. Like it just, collaborations and algorithms, and obviously we're starting to learn doing this podcast ourselves. Me and the boys here. It's exciting, but it's hard work.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, you've got to be authentic. I think is the first thing.
That's the big thing, right? If you start being fake, people know about it, and like especially nowadays when you put your face to it, if you're all like arrogant and
you get nowhere.
But then when people see you in real life, you're a totally different person.
Yeah.
They're like, well, hold on, who's the guy that I see on socials?
That's right.
So there is an amplified version of it a little bit. Pretty much everything I say is true in what I think. But it's like sometimes, I'm talking up New South Wales after a game 1 win, and then I'm like, after game 3, it's horrible.
You've got to put your balls on the line.
But you got to do that, right? And you got to own it. So, you're 100% correct. You got to be authentic, otherwise people pick up on it and they'll just blow you away.
Is there a lot of competition out there in the same realm as you?
Yeah, especially in the NRL. There's so many people trying to do the same thing. So I was lucky that I got in a lot earlier than a lot of people. So
I suppose Denham Kent might have been before you, and that was
around about the same time. I think he started the podcast and was never really big on the socials early, but then he realised like how big socials can be to help the podcast.
What percentage are you podcast and socials?
I don't really do a podcast anymore.
Okay,
it's just socials, which is hard because a lot of people get the revenue behind the podcast. Once they start getting numbers behind that, they get revenue, and then the socials actually a secondary part. But social is so important of how to sell your podcast.
Oh, of course. Sponsors and stuff.
100%. Yeah, and it just gives an added element of you're doing this podcast with a great guest, and if you can utilize social media to sell that, then it brings more viewers and listeners. So
I even watched recently. I've been on most of the podcasts, and I saw that even the podcast boys all had a rugby league game against each other. When they played each other,
So I played
Rando and
I played in that last year.
Yeah,
they've had it for 3 years now. Great concept.
Isn't it a great concept?
So there's a couple of charities, the Ronald McDonald and Mark Hughes Foundation,
and that's what I mean. It can be used for great things.
Exactly right. So there's everyone focuses on the negative, but that's one massive one where we all come together and we just go out and actually try and play a competitive game.
Yeah,
a lot of us a lot of them have never picked up a footy, you can tell. But, at least they're out there having a go and bringing attention to the causes and just having fun playing rugby league. That's what it's about.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
We get to this photo now. Obviously, this is the culmination of a lot of hard work for you. You mentioned you've got to have an understanding partner or wife and to do what you do. Well, you're in Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. That's the boy from Forbes, Parks, has done all right.
Yeah. And, Mrs. Roasty and the Roastettes. Actually,
the Roastettes.
My eldest there, Charlie, we've been doing, we did content with KO and stuff, which got us there. And she was called Little Roasty. So we were just doing content, trying to sell it to families and things like Rugby League. And she had a whole year of doing it, and she loved it, and it was great in her development as well. But that's just a culmination of the whole thing, like you said, I've got to have an understanding partner and family to get us to that point.
Yeah.
And the fact that so
sometimes when you're on you're doing your thing, and the missus says, "Can you go, babe? I've got a deadline." Is that how it works, or
sort of? Yeah, she knows if there's a game on, just don't even ask me to do anything.
Are you looking for things while the game's on? Different.
It's so hard. I can't watch a game and almost enjoy it now. I'm trying to watch it and look for things.
Well, that's what Supercoach does to me.
Yeah.
I've done Supercoach. I did it for 3 or 4 years. I can't do it anymore.
No,
because I'm watching, see if my mate offloads it or he does a break and tackle. I'm going, no, I'm not watching it right. So you must be on a whole nother level.
Same with watching movies because a lot of my stuff is the memes and keeping up with certain things in movies, pop culture. So I'm watching movies and going, I could use that with a certain team, or there's a certain, and you see it now. I think I saw one this morning, which was from the other guys, where he comes out and he goes, okay, 9:15, let's go, everybody. He goes, shut the hell up, or whatever. So it was like Queensland saying that to New South Wales. And I'm like, that's perfect, So all those sort of things. Every time I watch a movie, I'm looking for those sort of things. But, I look at this one all the time.
How old are your daughters? What age
they would have been 11 and 9 there. It's my youngest's birthday. So the birthday was on the same day as the footy. So she got to, we took her in a limo to the game, and she had an awesome time. But, just the fact that I've turned this from, just posting some memes, having a fun, to taking my family over to Las Vegas to watch Rugby League, and as part of the job.
And I mean, these days with more and more social media, I think if you got to embrace it, and you got to teach more kids about it.
100%.
Because there will be, going forward, there'll be lessons on it in school. There'll be, you can do your degree in social media, I suppose now.
I've thought about like approaching the schools and stuff at home and just saying like, maybe there's an education thing, or even in high school kids, showing them the great uses of social media to enhance them as a brand or them as people, because I've seen it in the development of my kids, and utilise the right way. Like, we just don't let them get on every social media app and everything. It's like, okay, regulated time, throwing the iPads away at certain times and all that sort of stuff. But they understand they've seen the great uses of it. Dad works in social media, so they can see the greatness of it.
When has been the moment when you've got to pinch yourself? I think you had Blocker as your last photo, but has there been a moment you go, I can't believe that I'm here or doing this? Is this one of them, the Vegas, or was it you met someone along the journey? You went, how did this kid meet this? How am I here?
Yeah, I've worked with Volk a fair bit, which has been
Alex. How good?
Oh mate, he's the greatest human on earth. I reckon. I don't think he's ever said no to anything. So. Obviously, I've worked with a company that works with him, so I've spent a lot of time there. But every time I've come up to him and just said, hey, mate, can I do this? Or there was a funny one where I've walked out of the octagon and said, oh, Alex Volkanovski, he's not even that tough. I reckon I could take him. And he walks up behind me, and I'm like, he's standing right behind me, isn't it? So, and it was a bit of a piss take on another one, but it just shows that I just said it to him. He goes, what do I need to do? And I said, you just need to walk up behind me and like stand and flex. And he just one take, bang, and he just loves it. Yeah. So he's a massive thing, cooking with Volk.
He's great.
He's great on social media.
Great character.
Yeah.
And he's a world champ.
Yeah. But like that's one of those pinch me moments where I'm like, you know what? I got to watch him fight in, where did I see him? Perth, Anaheim.
We're over Perth, yeah.
Yeah, Perth, Anaheim, and I've seen him in Miami where he won the title back. And I was just like, what am I doing here? Like, how did I get here? So
hard work, brother.
Correct, yeah. But that's probably the big pinch me moment was working with him.
Well, now we go to the fun stuff of the podcast, where we ask you to give me 5. Ask your favourite things. First of all, your favourite band.
Probably say like Foo Fighters. I was going to say Taylor Swift, but she's not a band because my kids have just mad on.
Oh, she's big.
She's big.
And with daughters, you can't.
Yeah, I got to enjoy it, and to be honest, I do enjoy a lot of her music. But I'd say my favourite band was Foo Fighters. I saw them at the Big Day Out back in 99, I think, or 2000.
Yeah.
And, mate, they were just epic. So,
and is your favourite song one of theirs? The number 2 question?
Yeah, probably Everlong. Yeah, love that. So
Taylor Hawkins was sad. We met Taylor Hawkins when I was working at Triple M. And
that where he's, ever since when he passed and I saw his son play My Hero, he got on the drums and played My Hero at a live concert. Mate, I've sit up late at night and just put that on and brings a tear to the eye. Yeah,
100%.
So, I'd say them.
We know your favourite sport is rugby league, but what's your favourite other sport?
I'd have to say MMA.
MMA?
Yeah, just because it's probably I've followed it for so long and enjoy a bit of golf, but I think watching is UFC.
Where's the UFC at the moment, you reckon? I mean, I've been a UFC fan for years, and way back to Stephen Bonner and that first fight with Forrest Griffin.
So that's what got me in it, because I remember that getting shared around. I don't know if you remember back in the old days, you used to get an email and it was like a video link, and it was that got shared around everywhere.
Yeah, that was the first kind of viral UFC
clip. Yeah, and it was before social media. I remember watching that, and I was like, and then we went and watched like from UFC 1 all the way through, where you'd see a sumo wrestler against a kickboxer.
I know.
And he kicked him in the face and the tooth went flying.
Oh, mate, the elbows in the head.
Yeah, and the old mate with one boxing glove and one. It was like, what are you doing, mate? But
I suppose with the John Jones thing recently, not fighting for so long and having someone like Tom Aspinall who you just want to see fight.
Yep.
Because you know how good he's going to be.
You know that's going to be a massive fight.
Oh, will they fight? Then?
No, they won't.
They won't fight.
It would have been a massive fight.
Then,
Sorry, yeah.
Do you think that Jones knew that he probably was going to get done by?
I just don't think he wanted to take that risk. If he
Legacy
leaves
risk.
now, legacy. People are going to say you dodged him, but at the same time, they're probably going to forget it in a year.
Who's your favourite all-time UFC fighter? Outside the Aussies.
Outside the Aussies, I was going to say, obviously, it's Alex Volkanovski.
And the Reaper?
You know what? I love Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
George St. Pierre.
Oh, he's probably the goat.
Yeah.
I also love Cain Velasquez as well.
Oh, Cain Velasquez. Saw him at UFC 110, I think it was, against Junior Dos Santos.
Oh, wow.
And
then we had big Brock Lesnar coming out.
Mark Hunt.
Poor bastard.
But yeah, obviously Alex Volkanovski's my goat. But yeah, GSP, Conor McGregor. There's so many historical matchups that you could work out, I reckon.
You'd love to. Who's the most famous person in your contacts?
Well, now you.
Really?
I don't have a lot. It's mostly through social media, so I don't have a lot of phone numbers. So I'm going to say you, MG.
Oh,
you like that
I'm
one?
honoured, mate.
Yeah.
I'm honoured, brother.
To be honest, I haven't actually saved you as MG. That's why when you rang me this morning, I think it's MG. I was like, hey, hello, Dean speaking.
It took you a while. I'm going, where is he? You look like you love a feed.
Thanks. No, I do, yeah.
You're a cuddly bear. If you went to prison and they said to you, okay, Dino, this is your death row meal. What are you going for? What are you hoeing into?
It's got to be fried chicken.
Oh, it's got to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I can't say one place because so many different places have good stuff.
They've all got great stuff.
Yeah, but fried chicken and chips and gravy.
And what are you going to wash it down with?
It's got to be a beer. And I'm not a big this is my one beer. At the moment, it's Stone and Wood, Pacific Ale, but I'll just say beer. Maybe a Guinness, actually. I love a Guinness.
I've never had one.
Oh, it is.
In all my years,
good.
I've never had a Guinness.
We'll have to go have one, try and split the G.
100%. Yeah. And what about a dessert? What's your dessert you're going to?
Oh, cookies and cream ice cream.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to go off floating in the sky.
I will. I've made a sugar high. I'll have to check my sugars. So.
Well, mate, it's been awesome.
Mate, this has been great. And to be honest, this is such a great concept of a podcast. Make sure, when you asked me, I was like, okay, I'll go back and find some photos because, to be honest, I don't have a lot hanging out.
I know, a lot of people got them in their phones and
a
lot of people like Ben Fordham said, mate, I'm taking this seriously. I'm going up to my mum's this weekend to look through the boxes and because I don't want to be the content provider. I want the guest to be the content provider because that's your story.
Yeah.
And I think that people who gravitate towards this podcast will be the ones that are in your realm of work.
Yeah. So it was good. Most of mine being in social media, I just had to scroll through my old socials. So, which was great. But yeah, just having a look back at some historical and trying to choose 5 was hard. I was like, I've got a couple of footy ones there. I'll mix up with family. And
great,
I don't want to leave certain people off. But
it's fantastic for you to come in today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, mate.
Dino, this is your life in 5.
Thank you so much.
Also, thanks to Lily Pilly Wines, mate. Maybe for that death row meal.
Wash it down with a nice wine.
Nice cab sav and
I don't mind a sav.
Sav Blanc.
Yeah, nice. Thanks so much, mate. Appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.